Wellness. This is Wine and Wellness Week number 99, and I'm your host, Jamie Dorley. So this is the first day of the Fall Fiesta Wellness Week, and we have all the incredible activities for you to enjoy, and we are live. So we have free, healthy, organic food right out front. You can take it to go or eat it here. We have workshops going on right now and every hour on the hour. We have a great group here already today. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Joe. So if you want to come down, we are live at 2419 Baldwick Road. Do you need to be a customer or patient? Absolutely not. If you've been here before, come on back, bring somebody with you. If you've never been here, come on down, because today, when you bring your postcard with you, you get the free wellness swag bag worth 99 bucks. And if you're real nice and don't bring the postcard, maybe you can sweet talk the young ladies at the front and get one. We are live, so you can come on down and also get anything you like at the smoothie bar. Have you guys tried the smoothies today? We have the healthy treats. We have not only the Rice Krispie treats, but the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. These are all organic, made with Super Shake as the base. And then we have all our great team here to help you with any questions. We're doing free testing, free literature, and if you buy anything, everything's on deep discount. So I'm going to talk about one of the most important things, regardless of what your diagnosis is, right? Because so many times people focus on their diagnosis, and what I found is from Carolyn Golmick, a fantastic naturopath in the Pittsburgh area, is she says number one thing to do is detach yourself from your diagnosis, right? Because when you internalize it, then it becomes you. When in fact, it's really just describing what's going on. So I'm going to talk about the underlying cause, because have you guys all heard about Run for the Cure? Have they cured anything yet? No. They're going to be running forever. So rather than running for the cure, we want to run for the cause. And there's a big four on causes, folks. So number one is stress. Is anybody stressed out there? No? Oh, I see a lot, yeah. Hands and feet going up in the air. So people are stressed. Oh, thank you to the lovely and talented Jayla bringing me my smoothie. That's a Protocino, I'm sure, so thank you. And we live in this stressful world now more than ever, so we need to address the stress. There he is, Dr. Phil. How we doing? Helping everybody out. Second thing we want to look at is nutritional deficiencies, because we know that since 1937 that we are nutritionally deficient in this country. Has it gotten any better or worse? Yeah, a lot worse, right? So bad, in fact, I'm going to show you that the American Medical Association recommends taking a multivitamin. Next is toxicity. We are swimming in a sea of toxicity, and most of the toxins are by choice that we ingest, from processed foods to prescription medication to over-the-counters to maybe poor thoughts, right? So a lot of toxins coming in our body. And then the last one is genetics, because this one makes me smile, because usually when you go to a doctor with, say, an autoimmune condition, they'll say, oh, this is genetics, and it has nothing to do with you, right? Where, in fact, my mentor, Dr. Jeffrey Bland, who is the father of functional medicine, he taught us a long time ago that genetic determinism is actually a fallacy. Just because it's in your genes, it doesn't matter until it's put in the environment that the gene actually expresses itself. So this is called nutrigenomics and actually epigenomics, where you put the gene in the environment and it acts accordingly. Think about when you go out in the sun, right? And then what happens? Your skin gets tan or burnt. Well, has your genes changed or the environment? Now think about when you're burning on the inside with somebody who smokes cigarettes, right? Or drinks excess alcohol, or eats pro-inflammatory foods, right? Or has a lot of stress bundled up. So we're going to address all these today in this short workshop, and most importantly, provide for you some solutions. So let me give you a little background on what I call World of Nutrition, which is World of Wellness and Nutritional Frontiers. So we are a faith-based, family-owned, Pittsburgh mission-driven company, and we really focus on our mission, which is making the world healthy. Hey, big guy, you want to get on camera over here? We got our favorite client right here, the Fighting Irish. What's your name, big guy?
Coleman.
Coleman, you're a big guy. You been working out? Look at those muscles. And what's your favorite shake? I see you were almost sold out of Super Shakes. What's your favorite flavor?
Purple.
Oh, he likes the Pro Purples, and you make the Purple Haze with the Nutritional Frontiers Super Shake. So we love seeing you here. You're a burst of enthusiasm. Thanks so much, and keep up the good work, big guy.
Okay, I will.
Any messages for all your fans out there?
Stay healthy.
There we go. All right, thanks, Colwyn. It's Kai, man. I tell you what, you know, these millennials get a bad rap. This kid, he's making me have chills. That's what it's all about, folks, making the world healthy. And here we go, one person at a time. And we are on a mission. So we have these wellness weeks 5 times a year. And the whole goal is to get you healthy and keep you healthy. And if you're suffering, we have some people with bursitis, diabetes, weight today, stress. You know, you may need to meet one of our healthcare professionals. Maybe, I always say 1 to 5 times, figure out what's going on, and then you can come to the wellness weeks, which are no cost at all. So we are thoroughly committed to education, and the Nutritional Frontier side of the business deals with the healthcare professionals. So if you are a healthcare professional, you're a nurse, medical doctor, chiropractor, nutritionist, pharmacist, you can always participate with the Nutritional Frontiers healthcare professional level of education, which is online and also live too. So there we go. We have 2 of my favorite educators in the world. You better put your seatbelt on at noon today, because we have Dr. Tracy and Dr. Judy Mikovits speaking together, and we're so blessed to have them because they do an incredible job. They're both researchers and clinicians. They've been speakers for Nutritional Frontiers for years, and their passion and enthusiasm and knowledge is second to none. So 12 noon today, you can join us live right here at 2419 Baldwick Road, or you can stream. You know, so many people asking about the radio show. We're still on the radio Monday through Friday, 8 to 9. However, does everyone have a cell phone? Okay. You can participate with us 24/7 just by going on the Facebook, World of Wellness, or YouTube, or Nutritional Frontiers, World of Wellness, or YouTube. If you don't know how to do those things, one of the people on our staff, maybe Phil, when he gets a 2-second break, can help you out. But those are great ways. You can watch videos, you can follow our promos and our events, and at the very least, just get on our email account at the World of Wellness. They can help you at the front desk. And then come to our wellness events, bring some friends with you, and then, of course, become a patient. So there's our incredible team. We have Dr. Phil Ross. He's a chiropractor, doctor of physical medicine, certified chiropractic sports physician, TPI certified for golfers. So he's doing an incredible job. And then we have the anchor, Dr. Gideon Orbach, just celebrated 15 years at the World of Wellness, a chiropractor for over 20, and a really passionate man who's been involved with health and wellness since he was a personal trainer with my background. We have a complete vitamin store that has vitamins, supplements, smoothies, personal hygiene formulations. And now with the new website, have you guys seen the new website? That is World of Wellness, wowpgh.com. The great thing is you can buy hundreds of different things from throughout the country and ship them right to your house, even things we don't carry in the store. There's my background. Believe it or not, it's hard to tell. I know I look so young, but this is my 31st year of doing this, longer than some people have been on the planet. So I've been really focused on my mission personally is to make my world, my families, my teams, and your world healthy. I've been at this since the 90s. That's the 1990s, not the 1890s. I see people curious out there. And, you know, in the 90s, it was more sports nutrition, right? So personal training, working in the health clubs, looking at the sports nutrition formulas, working with the athletes. And then for the past 20 years, I really have focused on healthcare professionals, right? Working with the healthcare professionals, them, and then also their staff and their patients. And then, you know, when Doc unfortunately passed, so, you know, can you guys believe it's 5 years next month, right? 5 years ago, God bless him. And then we were fortunate that we're able to take on the legacy of originally the Pain Release Clinic and then the Weiner Wellness Center and now the World of Wellness. So as a legacy to Dr. Weiner, it's still going to be called the Weiner Wellness Week. You guys know what number this is? 99. It's the last time we're double digits, so it will be 100 at the holiday event this year. So we're expecting a huge event. We got some really cool stuff that's going to happen, and stay posted for all the details to come. So Nutritional Frontier is an FDA registered USA company right here in Bridgeville. It's actually on the same road as this. And really focused on quality, integrity, research, and service. Have you ever met a company that didn't say they have good quality? Of course not. They all say that, right? And we have the integrity that, a young woman just came in and she had a bottle she wanted to exchange. We do take backs. That's fine. Money back guarantee. The difference is you start looking at the research. No toxic ingredients. What's a toxic ingredient? How about dyes? You ever see a vitamin that's colored? Right? Yellow, Centrum, right? You ever see where it has artificial flavorings in a smoothie? Not in Coleman's, right? All natural, no artificial flavorings. And we give you delivery systems so you can maximize compliance and bioavailability. Who likes big horse pills? Nobody. We don't offer them here. Who likes powders? You like the shakes, right? Who likes chewables, veggie caps, sprays, liquids? So you have a lot of options and better compliance, better results, and we want to outservice anyone out there. So when we talk about chronic inflammation, right, you can have an acute inflammation like, not us, of course, but somebody may slam their finger in the car door, right? You may slip and fall. So you have that pain, right? And you know it's really going to hurt when it doesn't hurt for the first second, right? And you're like, here it comes. So that initial pain reaction, this swelling you're going to have, right? Then also you're going to have maybe some redness, right? Discoloration. That's acute, right? Inflammation. And I think our medical community has done a really good job with acute issues, heart attacks, accidents, broken bones, car accidents. But what about chronic? Because chronic accounts for over 80% of your office visits to your healthcare professional. So what are some of the main causes of chronic inflammation? Stress, the diet. We were talking earlier about foods are either anti-inflammatory or pro-inflammatory. So anti-inflammatory are going to be things like fish, nuts, vegetables, fruits. What are pro-inflammatory? Anything processed, dairy, sugar, alcohol, okay? So I'm not saying to never participate with those, but when you do, you're getting your body out of balance so it becomes more pro-inflammatory. And that leads to what? What's the number one cause of death in the U.S.? Heart disease. Number 2, cancer. Number 3, properly prescribed medications. It's right in the literature. And then you have things like diabetes, but you usually don't die from that. It's more kidneys or heart. But you get the idea, right? So there's a underlying cause of chronic inflammation of all chronic disease. So here's an example of some of those foods, right? Foods on the left, anti-inflammatory. Foods on the right, pro-inflammatory. We also have, did you get a bag? You got a swag bag? In there is the NF for Life patient guide. It's a great workbook to write down your goals, your notes, your blood work, maybe your exams, right? Your programs, and then maybe some of your goals, right? So it's a really cool workbook, and it's really designed that you have a guide that you can continually utilize to make sure that you, because what happens if you get success, what happens? We had a staff member come on board, and in the first 100 days, she lost 30 pounds, and she eliminated 3 medications, right? In 3 months. You know what she said one day when she came in the next week? I'm not happy. I said, what? I said, if you went back 4 months and said you can get here, what would happen? Okay. I said, now you have new goals, right? So when you start to make progress and get results, your goals change. And that's okay. That's why you need a program to keep following. And just by coming to our events and reading that book, you're halfway there. So let's look at nutritional deficiencies. We know we're stressed out from food and our lifestyle, right? Probably one of the best things you can do for stress is what? Put the phone down, shut the TV off, and do some deep breathing. Go outside in nature. I know Pittsburgh, it's not really that cold here. It gets a little crisp at times, but deep breathing, prayer, meditation, walking, talking to people, right? Those all help. Getting a massage, listening to some good music. Those are all simple, easy, free things you can do every day in a healthy way. I just started my new book this morning, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, right? Because your thoughts become actions, right? Good or bad. So we know that stress is a key component. The second thing is nutritional deficiencies. This article was actually published in JAMA all the way back in 2002, right? over 20 years ago. And the AMA, for the first time in 20 years, said their position was always eat right, whatever that means, right? Now they said eat right and take a multivitamin and mineral. So that's all the way back in 2002. And the idea was prevent chronic illness. So the number one thing on your program should be a multivitamin and mineral. But when we made ours, first thing we do is put in a veggie capsule. Second thing is we customize it for male or female. So we didn't just want to put vitamins in, we put active vitamins. Okay, there's a difference on active vitamins versus inactive. The active vitamins your body can use. We use it chelated minerals, meaning that the minerals are very bioavailable. What are the minerals? Magnesium, calcium, zinc, those type of things. Plus in the women's we add a probiotic and a superfood. So you have all your nutrients in here every day that you need as a foundation. And now we have the new Men's Complete, which we love because it's tailored and customized for a male. We add in some prostate support, some CoQ10 for the heart, right? Lutamax for the eyes. So these are really fortified multivitamins that you can take every day, even if you only took one. So you can take one up to 4. So I like to build as a health pyramid. This is in your NF for Life handbook, right? So if you go back to this booklet right here, in there is called the health pyramid because you can't out-medicate a bad lifestyle, right? We've all seen this. People are on, the most I've seen is a woman was on 33 medications that came in here. Yeah. The average person over 60 is on about 10, right? The average American's on 2. You can't out-medicate a bad lifestyle. You can't out-supplement a bad lifestyle either. So, morning, Mike. So you ever have somebody say, well, what do you do for joint pain, right? Well, you can just take the HA Plus or the X-Flame or the SPMs, but as we were talking earlier, I included the diet in there, right? Because the foundation is so important. So you can't build a pyramid on quicksand. You can't build your body on it either. So you need to have the right water, the right food. Our bodies are made to move. You know, what happens to a car if you leave it in the garage for 5 years? You'll be able to start up and pull out? No. The tires are probably low. The battery may be dead. Our body is the same way. We're made to move. You don't have to do super intense exercise, but you do have to have movement. You know, in Japan, in their work schedule, they incorporate stretching or walking about every hour for 5 to 10 minutes. So it could be throughout the day. They showed this all the way back in the Bulgarian athletic studies where they divided the workouts up 2 and 3 times a day for shorter duration, and they found it was actually better. So keep the body moving. Make sure you're sleeping right. Sleep is a big issue. Anyone suffering from poor sleep in here? Okay. Sleep time is number 1. If that doesn't work, add in Adrenamax. But sleep time works for over 90% of people, and we have some samples in your care bags for you. So you do 1 cap about an hour before bed tonight, and then you go to 2 tomorrow. You won't need more than 3. So the idea is to build your pyramid with probiotics and enzymes through food and food-based supplements. So we talked about the shake a day, the vitamins, the minerals, the essential fats, the fatty acids. So does anyone do the power cleansing greens or super shake? No? A couple people? Okay. That will actually have your food. There you go. We got a whole bag back there with Coleman and his dad. I'm not sure who's teaching who there. Oh, he's Coleman too? Oh. Oh, and you're a junior? Oh, the 3rd. So am I. AJD the 3rd. I love it. You know what they say, right? Save the best for last, right? So you want to build your lifestyle with the foundations. Laughter is the best medicine, right? You know, walking, you know, taking some deep breaths. If you're really having a pity party, as I would call it, I like to have those, is you write down a gratitude list. Right? My friend one day we were talking, she says, close your eyes. I said, okay. How long? She said, close them for 10 minutes. She goes, close them for a whole day. That's what someone who's blind has, right? So sometimes we don't even appreciate the little things until you don't have them. Have an attitude of gratitude. But you can build your nutrients through this 1 shake every morning, and that'll make sure that you have all your nutrient base covered. Take care, guys. So why are we so concerned with toxicity? because we're surrounded by it, right? So this goes all the way back to 1982. This is 20 years before the AMA study. And this looked at xenobiotic toxicity. So that means toxins from outside the body that we're not used to being exposed to, right? So this all started back in the 1920s with DuPont and plastics and chemicals. So in 82, they looked at the gluteus maximus adipose tissue, which means really just the fat from the butt, right? So why would they look at fat cells? Because that's where you store your toxins. So when people are struggling with weight, I always put them on a cleanse because the fat cells are holding a lot of toxins. So this looked at roughly about 33,000 people in about 45 cities in the U.S. So it was a great big study. And what they tested was plastics, pesticides, solvents, perfumes, and dioxins. And how many people did they find that had these? Everybody. That was 40 years ago. Is it better or worse? Yeah. Because now there's all types of new chemicals and toxins. And what about blue lights and phones and frequencies and everything else, right? And these toxins accumulate over time. So you feel good, and suddenly you don't feel good. It didn't happen that day. And think about if this Protocino was filled to the top, and I put one drop of water, what would happen? Overflow. That's called multiple chemical toxicities, right? What if the cup is half full and you put a drop in? You don't notice it, right? So you got to constantly drain your strain of toxins and also emotional toxins, right? Because usually the person isn't upset what happened in that moment. It's the other 99 things that you did that they didn't say, right? So it's good to have those good, tough conversations. So when we look at toxicity, people think detox is something you do once in a while. Well, it's not something you do once in a while. It's something you need to do every day in a healthy way. We're always detoxifying 24/7, 365. And think about how when you are actually, maybe you're cleaning your garage, right? If you haven't cleaned your garage in 10 years, do you notice it when you do it? Yeah. Does it take a lot of effort? Absolutely. But it's even like, my daughter doesn't understand this, but if she kept her room clean, it would be easier to clean, right? It's like your car or anything else. So the body's the same way. And it's a very nutrient-dependent process. And it happens in the liver, but every other cell in the body you're detoxifying every day in a healthy way. So what are some of the nutrients you need to help support the 4 phases of detox? Vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, amino acids, right? Probiotics. These are all important because you have to get through phase 1 and 2 of the liver, the kidneys, and the colon. And how do we detoxify? Exhale by breathing, right? Urination, bowel movements, perspiration, which I love, but I know the women don't love that, right? And during healthy menstrual cycle years. So these need to be healthy ways you detoxify every day. If not, what happens to the toxins? They build up, right? It's like having that old food in the fridge. It's just going to build up in the body. It's going to go rancid, and you're going to have problems with it. So let me show you a case study because now we're being exposed to even more toxicity. So I'm not against or for the vax, but I didn't get it. And I'm sure Tracy and Judy are going to share their thoughts. However, I know some people, friends, family members that feel they were forced into it because of their career. And it's really sad. So here's my friend's mom, right? She's 83 years old, really petite Italian woman, a real tough personality, no medications, lived on her own, gardened and walked every day, grocery shop, cooked, the whole deal. And she was talked into getting the vaccination by her doctor. And lo and behold, within 2 days, her arm got numb, right? And then within 5 days, her whole legs were numb. She couldn't walk. Right? Doc said it had nothing to do with the shot. Right? So brought her in, and they diagnosed her with myocarditis. Right? You've heard this? Yeah. So now you're seeing a 20-something-year-old, I just found out from one of my doctors, says myocarditis is up 800% for 20-something-year-olds. I go, I didn't know it existed. He goes, it didn't. Now you're seeing athletes and young people up until like 20 to 50, they're having strokes or heart attacks. Yeah, they're dying. In fact, one of my clients showed me from a high school, they actually have a release now. If the kid has been vaccinated, they need a release from the doctor against cardiovascular events. I said, it's going the other way now, right? So anyway, the point is, I think the phone's ringing. Hello, hello. So the point is that when she got tested, what they found is her liver enzymes, which are normally CK levels, normally about 100, okay? Hers was 6,215. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Acute myocarditis. So what did we do? We said, we got to start detoxifying her. So all we did was we put her on the power cleanse in the greens. No, that's what we're here for. This is interactive. If I talk all day, we're in trouble, right? Not that I won't, but, you know. No, what's going to happen, right? So you ever see those pictures of the iceberg and you see the tip? This is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. It's really scary because people are going to be really sick, right? We're seeing it already. Right? It's not going to get better. So what do? We take it in our own hands. We hold ourselves accountable. And we got to make sure we are limiting or eliminating our exposure to toxins, right? So this is stuff I mentioned, food. It's not enough anymore just to eat good and work out, right? Those days are over. You need to eat good, work out, do your emotional wellness, do your physical, have a healthcare professional, and you need to take the right nutrients in. These formulations are fortified. I'm going to talk about these super biohackers. We have things like glutathione in there, right? We have things in there like dimethylglycine. These all have the ability to escort some of these toxins out of the body. Because some of these toxins, our body's not made to excrete, right? So they sit in the fat cells. So we need to attach to these toxins and pull them out. And that's what we have in these. These are called chelators. You heard of chelators? You can chelate metals, but also other toxins. So that's what some of these nutrients have. So her liver enzymes went from 6,215 down to 70. I think they're speechless, folks. Her doctor said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Yeah. Nah. We told you it'd go away. I had a woman that went on our program that had been suffering from something for 7, 8 years, went on our program and got good results in about 4 months. And her doctor said, it's a delayed reaction from the medication you've been on for 8 years. Yeah, the results. I said, oh, after 8 years it started working? No. So this is just an example. We're not making any claims here, but you need to detoxify in a healthy way every day. So we have this thing called Shake a Day Club where you do a shake every morning. And we do that with the cleansing greens. Where can you go to get, you guys ever eat out? Yeah. How much is breakfast now at a diner? Oh, yeah, $25, right? Yeah. How much is one of our shake-a-days in the morning? Less than $5. At the Wellness Weeks, less than $4. And what do you get in there? You get your breakfast, your protein, your carbs, your fat, your fiber. You get your vitamin and mineral, active and chelated. You get your liver support. You get your prebiotic, probiotic, and enzymes. You get your essential fatty acids and all your phytonutrients. You couldn't buy this in the grocery store at a diner if you tried for a fraction of the cost. And the reason I start every day is because your food is information. What food you eat tells your body what to do. So if you eat a lot of sugar for breakfast, like Captain Crunch, or a donut, or a bagel, or some of these bars, or even fruit, it raises your insulin, raises your blood sugar and insulin, and it tells your body to store a lot of fat. And your mood goes up and down. How do we feel? Not real good. It's called Power Cleanse and Greens. Oh, that's okay. We'll get it for you. And we have them actually at buy one, get one. We're doing a special for this event. So you can buy one, get one free. That's 50% off. So your cost on the meal now is $2. So here's some of the ingredients we use that I was identifying. These are all called patent and research trademarked. And in the greens, you get quite a few of those in there. One ingredient I love that's in not only the Power Cleanse but the greens is DMG. You guys familiar with DMG? Dimethylglycine, 5 U.S. patents. If you can't remember, just remember DMG, darn mighty good. So what's DMG stand for? What does it stand for? Darn mighty good. There we go. We got some good students here. Well, come on down. My daughter's a teacher. Sure. Good.
I'm going in for all the teachers that got boosted and shots over. I'm not getting COVID. They're all getting COVID. Just saying.
Oh, there you go, young lady. I love it, right?
I didn't get the shot.
You didn't get the shot and you didn't get COVID. Well, there you go.
They didn't make me. I'm in a Catholic school.
Oh, I love it. My daughter goes to Seton LaSalle. Hopefully you.
Oh.
Is that where you teach?
No.
Oh.
My boss's daughter went there.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. I want to hear all the inside scoop.
We're in a different kind of union, but they don't. I'm in a Catholic school, so we do our thing. No critical race theory.
Well, I love it, right? So DMG can help you. I know you've been a client here for a while, utilizing the nutrients. So these are not just vitamins and minerals. Take care, honey. These are fortified with these specific ingredients that I've learned about in the last 31 years, right? And it's really important if you look at this list here, not to shortchange them because these nutrients make the difference in results or not. Example is the X-Flame. Dr. Weiner brought this in at the Pain Release Clinic. This is the first formula we actually did research on. And it's actually been studied for pain, swelling, mobility, and also decrease the need of over-the-counter medications. And all the studies on this have proven that it will do that in the dose we have in the X-Flame. So a lot of research on that. You also see people have inflammation maybe with blood sugar, right? So there's actually a teacher I worked with years ago in here. So she came in, she was 55 years old, type 2 diabetes, and her issue was she had cellulitis so bad in her foot she couldn't walk. So she couldn't teach. She came in here in tears. She was wearing slippers, right? So after we talked for a while and, had a nice conversation and calmed down and did some deep breathing, she says, I want to do this because if I don't teach, I don't want to live, right? Because that was her passion, right? Yes. Well, my daughter's 24 and she's a teacher in Virginia, and she has that kind of passion. She's a third grade teacher, and we do, right? So I put her on a program with the Glucolyze, which used to be called Sugar Solve, the Omega 3D, and her shake was Pro Oranges and Super Shake, and a low glycemic index, low sugar meal. So in just 8 weeks, there we go. In just 8 weeks, her blood sugar was cut in half from 258 to 128, and she lost 22 pounds in 8 weeks. And most importantly, in probably about 4 months, she's able to go back to school. Right? So that's what we talk about. We're talking about making the world healthy. That's an example. So when we look at it, why omegas, right? We're talking about nutritional deficiencies and why SPMs. Every cell in your body is made of omega-3 fatty acid. Remember in 7th grade, we had to draw the cell, all the cell membrane in the liquid. So think about a nice, robust grape, right? We all know what a grape looks like, right? It's full, it's healthy. If you squeeze it, what happens? Fluid comes out, right? So grapes are real healthy. That's what your cells should be like with omega-3s in them, okay? As your cells age, what happens to that grape? It loses the hydration. It gets old. It shrinks and shrivels like a raisin. That's what happens to our cells as we age. You can see that in some people if they're a smoker, right? You can see it in their face. Well, their internal is doing the same thing. So fish oils become embedded in part of every cell in the body. Have you ever heard of fish oils being good for joint health? Yeah. What about cardiovascular health? Yes. What about your brain? Well, your brain's about 70% fat. So fish oils are really the foundation of all your nutrients and are really important that you have as part of your program every day in a healthy way. Hold on a second. It doesn't have. Great question. So the bundle, as we would call it, the 1-2 punch, would be Women's Complete and Omega 3D. You got it. Okay? Men's Complete and Omega 3D. Frontier Multi and Omega. That's your 1-2 punch. Because you can't. Yeah, the fish oil. That's what it's called. Yeah, we're going to show you in a minute. But you can't really put the oil in the multi. It doesn't work well. So we do it separately. Okay?
Can you take it together?
Yes. I do it every morning. And here's why, right? If you look at the content of your cells, when they get to about 10% omegas, this is actually a published study from JAMA in 1995, the American Medical Association showed when you get your cell membranes full of the omega-3s, you cut your risk of heart attack by how much? 90%. Yeah, this should be on the cover of the New York Times if they still have them, newspaper or news or anything else.
No, it's a fact.
Yeah. So you need to make sure you take these every day, plus eat foods that have omegas like what? Fish, nuts, seeds, right? And eliminate the bad fats. Where do we find those? Any one of these stores when you leave here, you have to close your eyes and drive. It's called Fast Food Alley, right? Be careful. Make sure you eat before you leave, right? Because they're going to suck you right in. And then let's look at fish oil in general. Most of the fish oil out there is only 30%. You ever see Omega 1000 at the Walmart, right? Sam's Club? It's only 30%. Ours is over 90%. So let's look at this oil. How much EPA and DHA does it say? 250, right? So 250 out of 1,000 is 25%. In school, if we scored a 25% on the test, what would the grade be? Yeah, worse than F minus, right? Yeah. Yeah, left back probably. 25%. What's the other 75%? Bad oil. Not good. Do not buy this. Please, if you have questions about your supplements, bring them in. Ours are actually a better value. It may be higher on the sticker, but it's a better value. Let's look at ours. How much EPA and DHA do you see in our soft gel? 960, right? And 640. 1,800 per two. That's 900 per one. 90% in school was what? There we go. A plus. That's all we got, right? A's. Yeah. So 25% or 90%. The choice is yours, folks. That's just one example. The other one is the SPMs. And what we find with SPMs is that this is probably the biggest, as I would call, game changer in my career in the last 20 plus years, right? How did they find out? This is actually a concentration of fish oil. And how did they find out about SPM? Well, they were doing it at Harvard Medical School. You guys, is that reputable, right? Dr. Bland, my mentor, was on a Harvard team that they were injecting lethal doses of a toxin in the rats. And they found some of the rats didn't die. So, of course, the scientists will say, well, why not, right? And what they found is they had much higher levels of these SPMs in their body. These are called specialized pro-resolving mediators. We probably know people like this. We may not like them, right? How come so-and-so could eat whatever they want, drink whatever they want, do whatever they want, and they're living to 100, right? It's like the old George Burns saying, if I knew I lived this long, I would have took better care of myself, right? Well, the other 99.99% of the population don't have high levels of these, right? And you want to talk about research, if you go on PubMed.com, it's the #1 research site out there. You type in COVID and SPM, what do you find? Over 1,000 published studies, peer-reviewed journals, on the benefits of SPMs in COVID. Have you ever heard that from anyone before? No. Best kept secret out there. Over 1,000 studies. And what were the studies on? I'll just give you a couple highlights. You ever hear of high sensitivity C-reactive protein? It's a cardiovascular risk marker, right? They were able to reduce them by 43% in 4 weeks. This is published data. Prostaglandin, PG2, it's an inflammatory marker. Normalized within 4 weeks. Fibrinogen, why is that so important? Blood clots. Have you heard about a rise in blood clots in the last 3 years? Yeah. Strokes, blood clots, heart attacks. Those were significantly reduced in 8 weeks. That's only on 2 a day. We're recommending 6 a day for the first 8 weeks. Yeah. Also, pain. Chronic pain reduced by 28% at 4 a day for 4 weeks on 2 a day. So you can see the benefits of cooling down that inflammation, because not only cools the inflammation, what's the other part of the story? It accelerates the healing process. And that's really the biggest benefit, because what happens to somebody with COVID or the vaccine? They get that cytokine storm. It's like a snowball going downhill. Can't stop it. Now you can with SPMs. Nice thing with the SPM by Nutritional Frontiers, in order to get those really delicate concentrations of the SPM out of fish, you need the best quality and manufacturing facilities in the world. So we go all the way to Germany and using German pharmaceutical technology. The gentleman that runs it, Dr. Jorn Dyerberg, he's a cardiologist and part of our team. He brought fish oil to the market in 1971, and he has over 450 published studies on fish oil and SPM. So that's behind our team. We use supercritical, which is high gas extraction, so no chemicals going in, no chemicals going out, and they're all in third-party, independently tested. So I talked about the super biohackers earlier. This is the way you get around genetic predisposition and risk factors, right? So we hear about hacking, we think of like a computer, right? They're getting around the password. These biohackers, these ingredients that are in the Power Cleanse and in the greens and in the Women's and Men's Complete, these all have the ability to biohack any of your genetic limitations you have. And that's why we've been utilizing these in our not only Nutritional Frontiers, but World of Wellness. And we've had Dr. Tracy Straub, Dr. Judy Mikovits, Dr. Len Bransowitz, all sharing the research for other healthcare professionals. And they'll actually be talking here today at 12 o'clock on our roundtable. So we talked about the anti-inflammatory foods. Sometimes those anti-inflammatory foods may actually create an issue for you. I'll give you an example. So we do some KBMO testing now. So if you're not getting healthy and you want to do some testing, this is very effective. They have 3 different tests all in one. One is for food allergens and food sensitivity. Second one is for inflammation. And the third one is for leaky gut and candida. So really nice testing that we're able to do now right here at the Wellness Center. Here's actually my test with all transparency. I was doing really good on my program, and around Easter I wasn't. So my leg flared up right there is my picture I took of myself. Not a real pretty sight. So what did I blame it on? My wife's cooking. I'm glad she's in the other room. Because Easter I ate some stuff I don't normally do. And she said, it's impossible for one meal to do this to you. I said, oh no, I don't normally eat that stuff. I eat it once a year. I don't like it. I think it did it. So I had a American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine seminar down in Fort Lauderdale. And one of the companies there was KBMO. So he tested me, blood test, sent me the results. And what's in my red alert? What do you guys see in red alert? What's listed? Casein, which is from milk, cow's milk, and bananas. Oh. What was I eating every morning to take all my supplements was half a banana. Yeah. So I don't really do milk or casein anyway. So I cut the banana out. And also, the second thing that, wheats and breads and stuff I get, and then egg yolks. But a lot of that stuff I don't eat anyway. So there was initially my flare-up. Here's what I did. I did the anti-inflammatory food program. I cut out bananas and 100% of dairy. And I went on the SPM and omegas, like I talked about today. And then Candida Kill is great to kill off candida. So if you have cravings, sugar, blood sugar, weight, mood, sometimes you need some Candida Kill to clean out the bad bugs. And then the superbiotics, I always use are a good probiotic. And lo and behold, there's my leg over a course of about 3 months. For me, it was bananas and Oh, it wasn't an Easter meal. I thought it was. It was all. It was the half a banana I was eating every day. Yeah, I was blaming it on the wife, but in fact, as usual, it was my fault.
Can I ask a question then?
Sure. Well, we have a couple options. Great question. And every great question gets a great answer, right? She said, what do you use in your coffee if you don't use creamer? Okay. So, number one, we have organic coffee here you can get. Plus, we have organic lattes you can buy that are less expensive than what you get at the store that are infused with nutrients. So, one is the coffee source. Number two, you can use things like almond milk, right? Rice milk, coconut milk, oat milk. And then my favorite is actually using the Super Shake Cafe Mocha, a tablespoon of that right in the coffee. It mixes real well. So you can use an alternative to milk. You can use Super Shake. And some people even like to need keto because that's all fat. So that is a creamer. So you have multiple options there for you because you want to get off the creamers because one is a dairy. Two is if they're in a little container, they have soy in it. And soy will shut down. Well, it's in there. You don't know it. So you can't have it, but you are having it. It's in the creamers. So the soy will really restrict your thyroid function, right? Which we don't want. So get off all creamers ASAP. Yes? We don't have glyphosates in our Cafe Mocha shakes right here in the back. So I recommend you use that. And that's what we call our Messino Protocino. Depends on where you go. I don't have them all memorized. I like to shop and buy organic like I did for our team this week. We did smoothies all week at the hotel. I brought a big cooler in. I had coconut organic, I had rice, and had oat milk because people on our team have different preferences. So we had all organic milks. I usually go to Whole Foods for something like that. Yeah. You had a question? Yeah. Men's and women's multi. So the women's multi is really from menstruation through menopause, right? And the men's the same thing, right? From puberty all the way through andropause. Yep. And the only thing different would be the dose. You can do one to start and take up to 4. Yeah, DMG, darn mighty good dimethylglycine, was originally classified as pangamic acid, vitamin B15, so it's in our Super B. It's a B vitamin that looks like an amino acid. Absolutely. Yep. And you look fantastic. Remember when 70 was old? Oh, good. No, they always say, my dad said, old is 15 years older than whatever you are. So I remember that, Pop. My dad's kicking strong at 83, golfs 3-4 times a week, bowls, and he looks about the same as he did when I was growing up. So great shape. He grew up on a farm, and he says, I eat to live, I don't live to eat. Where do you keep hearing that from? Mainstream what? Oh, you don't know. Oh. Well, I'd like to know because when we hear things like that, I'd like to know where it's coming from. Okay. And what's the American diet's ratio of omega 6 and 3? Some it's 75 to 1, right? And there's different types of omegas, right? You have your vegetable oil, that's omega 6, right? Then you have your natural, like flaxseed. So the omega 3s tend to be more therapeutic when we need that. So if you wanted a blend, we have things like krill oil is a blend. Oh, yeah. Krill oil is good. I also like to have, um, we have the liquid smoothie back there. It's a combination of 3s and 6s, right? We also have the organic flaxseed oil. We find that most people are very high in 6s, pro-inflammatory 6s, than 3s. So we need a balance, absolutely, just like everything else. But for a acute situation, right? We're trying to get that impact. We want a therapeutic result. We want high omega-3s. Great questions. You guys are really on top of your game. Any other questions? You guys are good. You guys are really on top of your game. I'll tell you what. There you go. So the Fit 176 that will actually test. It's not on there. There we go. The Fit 176 is the highest level, right? That's 450. The Fit 132 is 350, and the Fit 22 is 150. What does the number mean? That means how many foods they test. So if you wanted the most common 22, you do that one. You want the 132, you do the next level. And 176, you do the third level. Taylor, can you please answer that? Can you please answer the phone? Thank you. It just depends on the person. I sound like my dad now, I know. If not, I'm an A minus, yeah. Well, my dad, I explained this week, my dad was military, special forces, police, and police sergeant in the New York Police Department in Harlem before Bill Clinton moved in. So he's very, yes. Which that's why I'm looking at the clock, so I got to finish. Okay, so there's a test. We can give you some more information. These tests are designed to really zero in at a level 2 of what some of the causes may be. Most people, when they get these tests, they say, oh, I eat that all the time, because you actually become addicted to the foods that are probably the most toxic for you. And it could be anything. That's why I showed you my case study. Jeff also does this with the applied kinesiology. So I'm hearing cheeses. Is that what I hear? Yeah. It depends. It's better. Feta cheese, goat cheese would be better. But most people aren't eating those, right? So, well, again, it depends on the person. It depends on the amount. I'd rather see eating whole foods like that than using the creamers, loaded with chemicals, right? Yeah. You ever see orange cow milk or yellow cow milk? No. See yellow cheeses, though, right? Yeah. Well, thanks so much for all your support. You guys really keep me on my toes. And we're excited. Everyone's coming back out. It's beautiful weather, and we are open. If you like what we do, please tell somebody else. If you don't like what we do, let me know, and I will try my best to fix it. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and God bless.